Yo, what's poppin'? You kicking it with the coldest podcast in the land. It's your boy, B. Jones, a.k.a. Bolo, and you know when I'm pulling up to the porch, I can't pull up without my dog.
Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Big Smitty, a.k.a. D-Nice. And where we at again, Bolo?
Y'all know we in the place to be, so tell a friend to grab a drink and pull up, because this is the porch.
Let's go.
On the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated. If we link, no it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated.
Man, how you doing? Hey, I'm hyped for this one.
Hey, I'm super excited, man. It's crazy just how things just kind of fall into place, man. And you know, we got a legend, a legend that's in the making right now on the show.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course, man.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hold on. Before we continue, Bet Online would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. Bet Online remains the number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. New year and a new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV, BELIEVE, to get started. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, and you know if you come to the porch, you might get entertainment, you might get music, we might be talking about some food. Hell, who knows what we might be talking about on the porch. At the end of the day, take advantage of all the amazing offers available in 2022. Use promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts. Of course. And let's make sure we do the intro the right way, man.
100%.
We got a big time guest on the porch right now. He's a professional boxer with a current record of 3-0. Goes by the nickname, The Legend Lives On. He's the grandson of the greatest, Muhammad Ali, none other than Nico Ali Walsh. Welcome to the porch.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, how you doing? Man? I know you're training right now for another big fight. How you feeling right now physically?
I feel great. I just got finished with my road work. This camp has been so much work. So I'm just excited. You know, the fight nights are really the easiest parts of the camp. So I'm just looking forward to fight night and get it over with.
Yeah. That grind is real. So quick question. Where are you training at? What city are you in now?
I live in Las Vegas and I train out of Las Vegas. That's
okay.
where Top Rank's headquarters is at. So it's perfect.
Nice.
Gotcha. I feel like all fighters, whether it's MMA, boxing, they tend to move and go to Vegas to fight and train.
Yeah. Vegas is, the fighting capital. Everyone says it, but it's the truth because, I don't know what it is about Vegas, but this is the place to be to not only fight professionally, but to train.
Got you. It's real interesting because just from like a regular person's perspective, you think about Vegas, you're thinking about partying and turning up and clowning, and you like, hell no, like we grind mode, we training.
No, it's weird. It's weird. I was just saying that to someone. Mayweather lives out here, and I watch a bunch of his documentaries and stuff. And when he was fighting, everyone thinks of the Vegas Strip. That's where the parties happen.
Yeah.
But when you look at the videos of Floyd, he's always off in the deserts running. And I didn't realize that Vegas had that side. A lot of people don't. So that's where I'm running. Where I run, you don't even see lights. It's in a place of Vegas that nobody normally sees. And I think it's really good to be able to separate yourself from those distractions. It takes a big person to say, no, I'm not going partying. I'm not going to the Strip.
Right.
I'm going to run in the deserts, in the neighborhoods.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot of discipline. Like it's
discipline. Perfect.
A lot of temptation in the Sin City, man.
Of course.
Definitely.
Nah, we love it, man. So yeah, again, man, we appreciate you for hopping on the porch, and let's go straight into it. So let's start from the early years, right? So I read that you grew up in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I was born in Chicago, and I left Chicago when I was like 3 or 4.
Okay.
I was real young when I left Chicago, and then we came straight out to Vegas, and then I've been here for the rest of my life.
Oh,
Nice.
God. So you've been in Vegas pretty much your whole entire life.
Yeah. But my family's in Chicago, so I'm constantly going to Chicago. Chicago's like a second home, basically.
Nice. That's love. Look, shout out to the Sox, shout out to the Bulls, shout out to the Bears.
Right.
That's my home. That's my hometown.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm from the Chicago area. Grew up there. My family's still back there. So that's awesome, man. I didn't even know that. The Ali's had ties to Chicago like that.
Oh yeah. No, the majority of my family lives out there, and I don't have a huge family, honestly. My grandfather's the only living grandfather that I had, and he lived in Arizona. So it was my grandfather in Arizona, and then everybody else basically in Chicago.
Got you.
Interesting, man. Okay. Hey, Bolo, y'all might be cousins or something. You might want to do your 21.
Yeah,
what's it called? Ancestry.com.
My lineage. Look. I had to. I'm a Jones, right? So I do my lineage. I think my family is somewhere in Tennessee and Mississippi.
Okay.
Pretty much where
That's where my great grandmother's from, Mississippi area.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We're getting somewhere.
Might be an Ali. Oh, man. So let me ask you this. So obviously, again, didn't know that you grew up in Vegas, but explain just what, I guess, your childhood was like growing up in Vegas.
Well, we came out to Vegas, and honestly, I wasn't a sports guy. I was that chubby little kid who was like the class clown. That was me. And I was not into sports, so I did not see myself getting to where I'm at right now. But that my whole life was just clowning around. I'm big on film. I love film. So after boxing, I'm definitely going to be, getting into filmmaking and that kind of thing. So that's always been what I've been into. And I've always shared the film/boxing interest.
Nice.
So that's been my whole life.
Oh, that's dope, man. Let me ask you this, being an Ali, right? I know kids can be mean, crazy. Like, did you ever get picked on or people try to like fight you just because of your last name?
Yeah, of course. And that happens. That's bound to happen, with a name like that, a fighting name. That's happened, but I was not the kind of kid. A lot of the boxers I've spoken with get their boxing backgrounds from like getting into fights in school and stuff. And that's where I'm different. I could not, like, my parents would kill me if I got into, a fight in school or something like that. So all my anger, I guess you would say, from whether it's from school or from anything else, I took out through boxing when I was younger.
Nice.
Got you.
So Nico, you talked about, not really having a sport and not really kind of being into, just kind of the sports and things like that. I guess, when did you fall in love with boxing? At what point, or what, kind of sparked in your head, like, okay, I'm gonna do this boxing thing?
Well, I didn't, it's tough to say which exact point, because I was a little kid grabbing boxing gloves from, my friend's house, and then I would throw them to kids in the neighborhood, and I would say, okay, let's box. And then we would just be doing matchmaking like that within the neighborhood. So I kind of became that annoying kid in the neighborhood that was just asking everyone to box,
I love it.
So I think then I realized, like, hey, if I'm just, doing this, people stop saying yes, because, not everybody loves boxing. I started to realize that, hey, maybe I should, stick with this or find other people who enjoy it like I do.
100%.
Nice. I can just imagine you as a kid as, hey man, throw these on. Let's get it.
Let's
get to it.
That's how it was. That's what, a majority of my childhood was, between the ages of like 9 and like 13, 14. I was just, hey guys, let's box, because it was just fun.
Right. You gotta be a different type of breed, Bolo, to just want to fight. You know what I mean?
Out the gate though, like, just what's up?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny too, because there's two different types of boxers, like completely different. You got the Mike Tysons who, he got into fights in New York, like in Brownsville. So like he was fighting for his life. And then you got people like my grandfather, who didn't really grow up in a bad neighborhood necessarily. He, just loved it. He actually, the funny story of my grandfather was, he got his bike stolen, and that sparked the interest to box. You know,
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, everybody's different, but I would say my origin story with boxing is more like my grandfather's, where it's, you know, not from violence, it's just from a love for the sport.
I love that. I love that.
you.
So you mentioned your grandfather, you know, the great Muhammad Ali. Obviously, he unfortunately passed away in 2016 there. And I believe you were a teenager at the time. So I guess talk to us a little bit about that relationship. How was it growing up with, you know, one of the greatest boxers to ever step foot in the ring?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? My family has always been super close with one another. So we've been close, obviously, my whole life. So it was just fun. You know, it was just, you know, everyone sees it differently. Everyone sees him as someone else, but we just see him as, you know, our grandfather. So we just had fun with him. We, you know, watched horror movies together, did magic tricks, jokes, and all that normal family stuff. That's the kind of stuff we did.
I love that. What's something you could just, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but is there like a certain story or just something about, you know, your grandfather that the world doesn't know that, you know, that would, I guess, surprise even us?
I mean, I don't know if it'd be surprising, but everyone in my family at least says that girls was my grandfather's weakness. He had a weakness for women, pretty women. And so one of his big crushes was Beyonce. And one time at his house, yeah, I mean, he had good taste. So one time at his house, we put on on his big screen, we put on a Beyonce music video, and it was just her, you know, dancing, barely had any clothes on, and he loved it, and he was drooling over that video. And sometimes people get surprised that he was still a ladies' man in his 70s, you know, but that part of him he never lost that part.
Hey, he could always, it's a great story. He had that mouth. He knew what to say. He was always smooth. Like, it don't really surprise me.
He was charming. Even, you know, I saw pictures of him with Angelina Jolie. I saw a picture of him with Beyonce, just these gorgeous women, and they're all just like fawning over him. And he still had it.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, you gotta recognize a great, you know, even the Beyoncés of the world gotta say that's Muhammad Ali right there.
You know what I mean? Like it's still like that's Muhammad Ali. Like no matter who you are, that's Muhammad Ali.
Exactly.
It's funny, yeah. That's how it was, and it was just crazy to see the people that I looked up to doing that to him. You know,
my grandfather, like you said, like that's just my grandfather. So it's like, that's awesome, so bro. That's awesome. So let me ask you this. Obviously, we know about the greatness of your grandfather, Muhammad Ali, but you also have a great auntie, Layla Ali. Like, talk about, I guess, that relationship. You know, did you ever like go to any of her fights, you know, when you're younger? Did she give you like any tips? Just kind of talk to us about that relationship.
Unfortunately, I didn't make it to any of her fights in person.
Yeah.
But when I was an amateur and I was starting off, she would make it to my fights in LA because she lived in LA at that time. And I mean, she gets the fact that, you know, she gets what it's like to be an Ali fighting, and nobody else understands that in the world except for her and my grandfather. So she was able to talk to me about that, and I was young at the time, so the stuff that she said, I took it to heart and I never forgot it. And she was right. You know, she said that when I fight someone, I fight the absolute best version of themselves, because they're like, hey, listen, I'm fighting, whether it's Ali's grandson or Ali's daughter or whatever, I'm fighting an Ali. I want to knock this girl out, and then I will make a name for myself in doing that. So I will always fight the best of the best in each person I fight. And she said that when I was a young kid.
Now, what was her reaction when you initially, you know, told the family like, hey, I want to box? Because I guess, do you have anybody else in the family that's boxing, or is it just, you know, your grandfather?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was, you know, it was just me. And I want to say everyone in my family was shocked. I don't think anybody in my family expected it because, like I said, I was the chubby kid, cracking jokes all the time, just the class clown. That was me. And so I don't think anyone expected me to take up boxing, and I don't think anyone thought I was serious. But you know what? The one person who believed in me the whole time was my grandfather. He took me serious, and I don't think anyone else did. But it'd be interesting to see what he would think at this point, you know, being to a stage where I think he knew I was going and no one else expected.
Got you. Yeah, so that's brings another question for me. So having your grandfather believe in you, the other family members not fully buying in yet, how are you feeling early on mentally? Were you encouraged? Were you discouraged? Because it's kind of like that. Well, my granddaddy, the greatest at this sport, believes in me, but then the rest of my family not really believing in me. So it's like, take us through that mental, cycle you were going through early on.
Well, my family's going to kill me for even saying that, but I know they know it's true because, when you have your son boxing and you go from what I was to what I am now, it's hard to say, oh yeah, I believe you're going to become world champ.
It's hard to imagine something when you're not seeing it. Right.
Right. So, I don't know. I wanted to quit and I would try to get him to say, yeah, you shouldn't box. I wanted him to say, you should not box, because all I needed was to hear that one time. And I would have been like, okay, I'm done with boxing, because it's a long and hard road. Like, it's very, very hard. Just with the pressure at the time and with everyone trying to knock my head off. And it was just too much. I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to quit on my own. All I need to quit is for my grandfather to say, don't box anymore, or, hey, do something else. So I tried to get him to say it a million times, and he would never say it. He just kept saying, no, keep boxing, stick with it. And I would say, are you sure? And he would be like, yes. Are you sure? Yes. So he believed in me when I really didn't even believe in myself to get to this level.
Damn.
That's amazing.
That's dope, man. That is really amazing. Like, yeah, I'm just lost for words.
Yeah. Like, now he got me over here like almost getting emotional because I'm just trying to think for real to have a family member, to believe in you to that level and his name, like, he's the greatest. And for him, yeah, your family, but I feel like, and I didn't know him, but I feel like he's the type of guy, he would be real. Like, if he didn't believe in you, he'd be like, hey, this ain't it.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what he was. He didn't want Layla boxing. Layla's pretty. Layla's his daughter. Of course he doesn't want her boxing. That's what I thought he would say for me. I thought he was gonna be like, hey, you're my cute little grandson. You're doing well in school. You want to be a filmmaker, stick to film. But he didn't say that for me. So I want to think that maybe he saw or felt something in me that he was just like, this kid can do it. And so now I did it, and I just listened to him.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's an amazing story. 100%.
So now that you are boxing, right? You're in it now. You're considered a professional, and you've had a few professional fights under your belt now. I guess, what's your biggest motivation now? Is it holding up the Ali name, or is it making a name for Nico and going in there and showing people that you really can get in there and compete?
Right now, it's making a name for myself. I think the first fight was a monumental point in my boxing life, because the first fight was for my grandfather. It was for, hey, I did it. I did my first professional fight. I'm a pro boxer. I did it. So that was for him. Everything else since then is for me. I'm trying to do a name for myself, make a name for myself, and it's tough doing it for me. But that's what I need to do. So that's what I'm doing it for now.
And it must be tough, I just look at some of the greats, like funny. So like I said, I'm from Chicago, and I got a good friend who actually played basketball with Michael Jordan's son, Jeffrey Jordan. And it's like, obviously it's Michael Jordan, right? We're talking about MJ. So when we see his son play, it's like, okay, he's a decent athlete, right? But now people are looking down at him, though, just because he is not up to par with his father, so it's even that much pressure on him to really go out there and do the best he can do, even though he still may fall short of, his father. So, I mean, it must be extremely tough to, obviously have greats like, Muhammad Ali and Layla Ali to, go in there and put on a show, and now it's your turn to do your thing.
Yeah, you're always going to fall short if you're being compared to anyone, not even if it's just your family members. But like, my grandfather fell short every single time when he was getting compared to Sugar Ray Robinson. You can never compare yourself to someone else because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, like you look at like my grandfather, I believe was my age when he was heavyweight champion of the world. Mike Tyson was 19 when he became heavyweight champion of the world. So it's everyone's got their own path. Everyone's got their own journey. So you can't compare. You'll always fall short if you compare.
Thanks.
That's a good point, man. That's some good advice. So you mentioned a little bit earlier how much, a grind it is and how you almost like you tried to quit. You wanted to quit. Walk us through what like a typical day is like, a training day is like for you, for guys like myself, Brian, who, we don't box, we were football guys. I want to just kind of get that comparison of like how hard our training regimen was compared to a boxing day.
Yeah, well, so for like training camp, because every day is different. Okay. But for like training camp, I would say you run four miles every day, no matter what, except for Sundays. I think sometimes my days off are Sundays. Sometimes my days off are Saturdays. Sometimes I don't get a day off for that particular week. So, it's so up in the air. It depends on your body, but 4 miles a day, just to start, 4 miles a day.
Hey, hold on. That right there is enough. Like after 4 miles, I'm done.
Well, no, but you know what? You get to the point where you do it so much, it becomes relaxing, and you look forward to doing it's not work anymore as much as it is like, I want to get away from everybody and I just want to run. I do all my running at night because I don't like running during the day. I'm a night guy. I sometimes train at 9 o'clock at night and walk out of the gym at 11. Like I'm just a night person. So but 4 miles a day, you do your 2 hour to 2.5 hours of boxing, whether it's sparring or just normal boxing stuff, and then strength and conditioning after boxing. So, and then that depends on whatever your boxing is. So that's a normal day for me right now.
Damn.
And it sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot when you enjoy it and you're around the right people. When you're around people that you don't like, then it's a living hell.
So do you do you diet? Like talk to us about like your diet, like eating and kind of those things as you prepare for a fight.
Yeah,
that's my favorite subject.
Yeah, because you said you were a chubby kid growing up, and obviously now you're very lean. So yeah, and I'm still a bigger dude. So please put me on game.
No, that's you know what? Everyone has like I talk to so many people who have such intelligent ways of putting it, but I'm so boring. I eat what I want. That's within the realm of 1, it's healthy, and 2, it makes me feel good. So I'm not going to be eating ice cream and stuff, even though my grandfather would sometimes eat ice cream before fights. I'm not going to be doing that. Heavyweight and middleweight is a big jump.
True.
So I eat what I want. I eat healthy, and I'm mostly on weight, so I'll just cut whatever I need to come the week of the fight. But I eat what I want, and that's good. The only thing I cut out is sweets.
Nice.
Got you. And I'm assuming with those strenuous workouts, you eat what you want, but you have to eat a lot of it. You know what I mean?
You burn a lot. So technically I could be eating sweets and I would still be on weight, but I wouldn't feel good. I think it's a mental thing. I'd be like, I'm eating candy. I can't be doing that,
Right.
It's a mental thing.
That is true.
Nah, I respect that. So yeah, we saw in an article just doing our research that I think one of your trainers had mentioned one thing about you is that you're never scared. You won't back down. Like that's just something that you have about your mentality. So just explain where does that fearless mentality truly stem from? Because a lot of people they might act tough and act all this and that, but in reality, they're not really about that life. It's like, where does that mentality come from for you?
Oh man, I have no idea. I hate to give you the cop-out answer and say I got it from my grandfather, but I swear my grandfather and my mom are the sweetest people, but they have a dark side. And you see it come out, and I feel like I get it from them. And you need it to be a boxer. You need it to be a fighter in general. So I definitely got it from them. I definitely got it from my grandfather. My mom definitely got it from him. And then I would say then I got it from my mom or something. Yeah.
Got you. Well, since you brought up your mom too, definitely want to be able to show her some love. Just explain about, obviously we all love our moms, of course. Talk about her impact just on who you are today as a man.
Yeah, well, she's amazing. She's the twin. Everyone calls her the twin. So she's got an identical twin sister. So it's my mom Rashida and her identical twin Jamela. You cannot tell them apart. So we've always been tight and close. And she's super cool. And like I said, she's raised with the same mentality as my grandfather. So my mom and my dad basically raised me with that same mentality. So I was just I got the right mental training as a kid, I would say.
Got you, man. Now that's dope. That's dope. Now you mentioned that no one can tell them apart. Can you tell your mom and your auntie apart at this point?
As they get older, you when you wake up in the morning, like when my aunt's actually in town right now, when you wake up in the morning, you catch their shirt and you'll be like, okay, my mom's wearing that shirt. I know that's my mom. But sometimes if you don't know the shirt, you will get mixed up.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because they are that identical that you can't tell the difference.
Because usually Bolo, there's like one thing about a twin that just stands out. Maybe their nose a little different, or they have like a beauty mark or something that's different. But I could imagine waking up like, damn, is that my mom or is that?
No, sorry,
auntie. My fault.
My mom is slightly darker because she lives in Vegas and my aunt lives in Chicago.
Gotcha.
That's the only difference. But sometimes if you're talking quick, you'll be talking to them and then you'll be like, that's
my fault.
Right.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So Nico, I guess let's walk back just a little bit as far as the beginning, kind of school the Porch on, what it takes for, somebody to get into their first professional fight. What does that look like? What are some of the steps they need to do to get into that moment?
Everyone says boxing is like 90% mental. Like I've heard it my whole life. They're like, it's like 90% mental, but I swear it is. So the biggest leap that anybody's got to, make, whether they're coming from a famous grandfather or not, is that mental side of boxing. It takes some serious balls to get in the ring, no matter who you are. So it's just a lot of mental preparation before you step into the ring for a serious pro fight.
Gotcha.
Now, is it a situation where like you got to have so many fights before you get to that one professional fight? Or is it something where, you get an agent, you get a couple, fights set up and then now you're starting to climb the ranks?
I would say the ideal situation is to have amateur fights before turning pro, like myself, because it would have to be so much harder stepping in for your first pro fight and never have fought before. That must be seriously hard. That's what Layla did. Layla didn't have an amateur career. So must be
technically
hard.
Speaking, you don't have to have an amateur career. Technically.
No, you don't.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Don't. And a lot of guys had very, very limited amateur careers. Like Tyson Fury told me he had about 30 something amateur fights. That's nothing compared to these kids like Devin Haney, who has like, I want to say over 200 or something.
Yeah.
Lomachenko had over 300, so I think it's a bit excessive when you get over to like that mark, over 250.
Right.
Yeah.
But, some people have very, very limited amateur careers. Deontay Wilder's one of them. He had a very, very small amateur career, but he did have some experience before turning pro.
Got you. Yeah, we had one of our earlier episode. We had Alicia Baumgartner on, current, she's featherweight champion, I believe. She had like was it like almost 200?
Yeah,
I think amateur fights as well.
She was like, she was fighting every week, like just
that's a lot of fights.
Back, yeah,
it's a lot for sure. But like you said, everyone's different, and everyone has a different mindset probably behind it, and where they feel like they need to be before they can turn pro. So, but yeah, so it's funny you brought up Tyson Ferry. I know that you've done some work with his trainer in the past, Sugar Hill Stewart. What is that relationship like, and just how was it training with the same trainer who's training Tyson Ferry, the champion?
Yeah. Well, I love Sugar's personality. If you're with him, he's very charismatic. So, I would say anyone who's with him loves his personality. He's a very fun guy to be around. So he makes it fun, but yeah, no, it's an honor to work with him, knowing that he's, done so much work with Tyson. And it was great being able to see Tyson in the gym working as he was preparing for the Deontay Wilder fight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, Tyson's definitely the greatest heavyweight of my time. So it's great to be able to see that in person while I'm alive. I get to see it physically.
Yeah, man. Say what you want about him, man. Tyson Ferry he's a dog, man. To be that big and the head movement, like break it down, because you're in there, boxing more than just us as fans, and you watch them train. What is it about Tyson Ferry that makes him so special?
I mean, I have no idea. He's just like from a scientific perspective, he's so agile. For his weight,
it's crazy.
Yeah. He's 280 pounds, and he's able to move so sporadically. I don't know how he's so athletic for that size. I don't know. I mean, I really don't. But one thing you can't train, because you can train that agility. One thing you can't train is, like you said, he's got that like dog in him.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it, like he got knocked down a couple times and got back up. Most people do not get back up,
especially from a Deontay Wilder punch.
Actually, I was about to say, he's the only person who's gotten up from a Deontay Wilder right hand like that. So
seriously,
that's true. That's true. Nah, you can't. Shout out to Tyson Fury, man. We might have to get him on the porch one of these days, man.
All right.
For sure. So let's dive into your actual professional career. So you're 3-0 right now. And I believe it was your second fight. First fight, you fought Jordan Weeks, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
So I think there was a special moment that it was like trending on social where you had knocked him down and you went back to your corner, jogging up and down. I believe you had your grandfather's white trunks on, if I'm not mistaken, and everyone started cheering, Ali, Ali, Ali. Now I know in the moment, like you still locked in, like I gotta win this fight.
Yeah.
But like in hindsight, how dope, man! How cool was that moment to hear people chanting Ali for you? I
mean, it's like, I want to say it's like taking a drug, being the kind of high you get from like fighting. Yeah. But I don't really remember that exact moment, but I remember cheering with them.
Yeah, I remember you were bouncing up and down. You did just
so that is completely out of character for me, but that I just felt it at the time. And that's crazy. I heard that video, ESPN Ringside posted it, and it's now their third most viewed video on all of their Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah. So people love that video. It's a really cool video to watch. I keep watching it over and over again.
As you should, man. I mean, that was a powerful hit, man.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of support. And again, of course, we understand your last name. Like, so once you announced that you were about to start your pro career, the whole world is like,
so many people want to see it.
Yeah. How good is he going to be? Does he fight like his granddad? Like, is there any similarity? So to see your first fight and for you to knock somebody down like that and win in the TKO, I mean, it's just, that's a special moment for you, man.
Definitely. And I get it. If I was looking up to Mike Tyson, and I do, and Mike Tyson's son started boxing, I would be like, oh my God, I gotta watch Mike Tyson's son.
100%.
Exactly.
Just out of the love that I have for Mike Tyson, I gotta see it. So I understand.
It's so many people, man. It's crazy. You think about it, like it's so many people rooting for you that is just crazy, like to think about, just because. We want to see you right up there. We want to see you, continue to grow and be just like, some of the members of your family who, we hold in high regard.
Right. And then one more thing. I'm
awesome.
Sorry. Yeah, one more thing too.
It really is cool.
We're younger, so like obviously we know the greatness of Muhammad Ali and Layla Ali, but we didn't necessarily grow up with him. We didn't see him.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this could be like our version of like, and again, I put the pressure on you, but like our version of Ali.
I get it. Yeah. You know, the demographic for the people that like, you know, some people said that they were like crying and stuff, you know, when they heard about it because of my grandfather, of course. Those are the older guys. Those are the people that are in their 60s and 70s. And so I get it, you know. So to bring that same, what I said to Top Rank was, it's like a kind of nostalgia. It's like kind of bringing it back, and people love to be reminded of like good times. So, you know, everyone comes up to me with stories like, hey, I used to watch your grandfather with my dad, and my dad passed away. So watching you is bringing back like nostalgia. So, you know, that kind of nostalgia is super cool. And, you know, it gets people rooting for me. I'm not like the public enemy. So it's really fun.
That's real. I love that. So we got to ask you, you know, in your last fight, you fought in the legendary Madison Square Garden, right? So 40 years to that day, you know, after your grandfather's final fight. I guess describe what it was like. Describe the emotions, you know, being in that same place that your grandfather was in, and then being able to walk away with the W.
Wow, I mean, that place is, the amount of history that's in that place is really ridiculous. Like it could be like it could just be a museum. They could stop using it for venues and just make it a museum because there's just so much history there. But obviously there was a ton of pressure. It was huge, but you don't really notice the crowd when you're like locked in the zone. But yeah, it was just awesome, the fact that I even get to say that I fought there. So that was my biggest takeaway from it. And it was a tough fight. It was against Reyes Sanchez, I believe. And yeah, he was 6-0 at the time, so it was a tough fight. And yeah, I mean, it was just it was an exciting moment, and it's really something to look back to now, saying, wow, I can't believe I did it.
Now, in Madison Square Garden, I think I seen like a snippet before your fight. Is the scale there that your grandfather weighed in on?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and I seen that. I guess how did you feel when you seen that? Like that historic, like
that's dope.
I said this is recreated, right? Like this can't be the same one, but it was the same one. I don't know how they just keep all this stuff. And it was standing right there. It wasn't behind glass. Like I would have it behind a vault if I, you know. that was the same scale that not only my grandfather was on, but Joe Frazier was on. So many legends were on. Seriously, so many. So I was like, what is this doing out here? Why am I allowed to touch it right now?
Right.
Wow.
Dang, that's crazy, man. Now that's super dope, boy. If I was you, I probably would have stand on top of it for good luck, for good measure. I don't know.
Right. I want to just take it home.
You're right.
For real.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned that, you know, when you're in that zone, it's hard for you to even notice how many people is in the arena. Take me back to like that intro, right? So as a fan, I love seeing the boxers walking out, figuring out what song they gonna choose, looking at your eyes. It's like my own personal test to see like, okay, Nico's ready today. So tell me how like that moment is so like every time I watch that intro, I want to box. What's that moment like when you walking out? You got your team with you, got the music playing. How do you feel in that moment?
Honestly, you just feel pumped. Like you feel pumped. That's the best way to feel. You know, to feel scared in that moment, you'd be in some serious trouble. But yeah, no, you just feel pumped. You know, you've got your music playing, you've got people yelling for you, and then you just see the ring. So it's really a powerful moment, and you're just like, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, you know, take care of this, because like I said before, all the hard work is done during camp. You know, fight night is the fun night. That's the night of celebration. So you're like, finally, I got camp over with. Let's cross this T. Let's dot this I. Let's finish this. So you're pumped.
Nice. So we got to ask you, as you're getting prepared for a fight, I guess, who are some of the artists on your playlist as you get your mind right?
Ooh.
You wouldn't believe, I'm really an old soul, but I listen to calm music.
Okay.
I listen to, you know, So like my favorite rappers are like Kid Cudi, A$AP Rocky, Travis Scott, you know, Post Malone.
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys don't make crazy hype beats, right?
Right.
But I love those guys. And then of course I listen to classics. My walkout song is Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio.
Oh, okay.
I'm sticking with that song. So
Let's go.
But that's the kind of music I listen to. I listen to Drake and all those new guys that make like chill beats.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. Real smooth, real melodic. Just kind of keep your
Yeah,
head
no,
on.
I just keep my head calm. That's all.
That's funny. Look, for real, like when I used to play football, I used to listen to R&B before games.
He really did. He really
I literally
did.
used to listen to R&B. It's just soothing because sometimes you can just get real rowdy and just like kind of hype yourself up too much. And then like
too much,
just,
right?
Yeah, it's too much. It'll be too much going on. But like you calming down, you're getting your body right, you're getting your mind right. You know, I got some Donnell Jones on or something like that, and I'm grooving. I'm getting my mind right.
Hey, Nico,
before I go out there and shine.
Brian, he'd be in the locker room almost crying before the game, just emotional.
Sometimes you need to. Yeah, sometimes you need to. You know, I'm definitely not the type to listen to screamo before going into a boxing match. That that gets you, like you said, too hyped. I'm already hyped in my head. I'm already ready to go. I want music that'll calm me down, you know?
Right.
So that's what I listen to.
I feel like during my football career, I kind of went back and forth with it. Yeah, it just depends on like the moment, or even I might listen to some chill songs and then some hype songs. Like it's a mixture of both.
Right.
But I would probably lean more so on the hype side, man. I got my Gucci man playing, my Chief Keef. I got
sometimes
Lil
you
Wayne.
need the hype right before I step out for the ring, because I've got this whole schedule planned because we've already done it 3 times.
Right.
The calm music, the Kid Cudi music, the Travis Scott music, the Drake music gets played when I'm wrapping my hands, when I'm stretching, doing that kind of thing. When I start hitting the mitts 15 minutes before walking out, there comes the Gucci Mane and big Drake, you know, that kind of stuff. I even listen to because Flavor Flav is a big part of my life. So I listen to some of Public Enemy, and I listen to, you know, the olden day rap too.
Oh yeah,
old school Flavor Flav.
Yeah, so you said Flavor Flav is a big part. So do you guys have a good relationship?
Yeah, amazing. He's like the closest thing to having family without being actually blood related.
Oh wow! I had no idea.
We're super close. Yes,
that's cool.
How did that, if you don't mind me, how did that relationship like come apart? Was he like cool with like, you know, just your family, or like how did it happen? Yeah.
Well, obviously he's been a huge fan of my family for so many years, but when we moved to Vegas 10 years ago or so, we moved into this neighborhood, and it was Flav's neighborhood at the time. He lived in the same neighborhood, and we just became neighbors. And then and then he found out about the family, and then we just became super tight. It was him who brought me to my first boxing gym, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
dope.
I was boxing and doing all that fun stuff in neighborhoods and stuff, but he was like, hey, listen, let me take you to a boxing gym. And he took me to Devin Haney's gym here in Vegas. And then that's where I got my first boxing lesson, my very first.
Dang, man. Shout out to Flavor Flav, man, out here. You know what I mean? Starting the dream.
You already know what time it is.
I should have worn my clock today on the porch. Man, that's super dope, man. We appreciate that, man. So obviously you're training right now. You got another big time fight coming up, I believe on January 29th. You're fighting, is it Luis Melendez? Or Lou? Am I saying it right?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to fight January 20th. I know that. January 29th.
Yes. No, that's all I know. And I know that someone's going to be across there.
It don't matter who it is, huh?
Yeah. Ooh. No, I don't know. You know, I heard at least that I had another opponent and he got COVID. So now it's a new opponent. So that's why, I never focus on one opponent's particular style or whatever, because stuff like that happens all the time. So I just get ready for whoever it is. So it may be that guy.
It's funny you said that, because it's like we had a guest on not too long ago, and this is like a whole different subject, but it kind of ties back to just focusing on yourself. Like being able to focus on like what you can do to provide your best you. Like when you start focusing on other people and, you know, what they may do and things like that, then that's when you lose sight of who you are and what you need to do to be successful. So that makes a lot of sense, man.
It's like we said earlier, anytime you compare yourself, you fall short every single time. So like, I'm not the type of person to say like, I wonder what my opponent's doing right now, or I wonder if he's doing this right now. I'll never, ever, ever do that because you'll always fall short. Never compare. So whoever I'm fighting, January 29th, it's going to be a good fight.
It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a long day because my boy Nico been running 4 miles. He been boxing. He been lifting. He been eating what he want.
Eating what I want. Exactly.
No, I love that, man. I love it, bro. So let's move over to our kind of fun quick hitters, right? So we always, you know, do a quick hitter segment, you know, as we near towards the end of our show. So first question, I'll start off, Bolo, and then you can jump in next.
Okay.
Who's your top 5 boxers of all time? No order, just like your 5.
Okay. I've had some people are shocked, but my favorite fighter of all time besides my grandfather right now is Canelo.
Ooh,
so,
he's a beast. Yeah. He's a beast.
So, and he's fighting today. So, you know, I get to see him. That's awesome. So Canelo, my grandfather, I can't make the list without him.
Of course.
Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, and this is the tough one, but I've got to say Sugar Ray Robinson.
Ooh, yeah. I thought you was gonna throw Floyd in there, number 5. I thought you was.
Floyd's the greatest defensive fighter I've ever. Yes, you know, there's so much you could take from him, but just like when I think of fighting, I think of like if these two just had to fight to the death, who would win? Those are my guys. I would, if I was going to war with just our hands, I would call those guys out.
I respect that. That makes a lot of sense. Like just who's the nastiest, who's just the most brutal out there. So I respect that for sure.
Okay, next question. So I guess who's one person that you would want to knock out before your career is over? Or even if you don't want to say you want to knock them out, but at least fight before your career is over.
Keep it real. Hey, this is the Porch. Keep it real.
It's so hard to say because, you know, a lot of people say they want to fight the person they look up to. I think the greatest fighter, hands down, of my time is Canelo. So if I was to ever share the ring with him, even if it wasn't just fighting, if it was like sparring, that would be an honor. So I would have to say Canelo. It'd be a long night for me, but just the fact that I'd say, hey, listen, I shared the ring with the greatest fighter of my time, that would be amazing. So Canelo for sure.
Love it.
Much respect, man. Yeah, Canelo's a monster. He's I mean, this guy, his movement, he's always been great, but like he's on another level now, even compared to like 5-6 years ago. You know what I mean? His defensive skills,
now,
everything.
I feel like he's in his prime. I feel like he's in his prime right this second. So it's awesome to watch him.
The only loss he has is against Floyd when he was way younger.
Floyd.
It's the only loss. So I mean, you're right there, man, for sure. So we talked about food earlier today. You know, I'm a big food guy. What's your go-to meal after a fight? So like the work's done, you just TKO'd another person. What's that go-to meal on January 30th?
Honestly, desserts. I say forget about the food. I love eating burgers, but you know, I don't eat desserts during camp. And, you know, I've been fighting back to back to back, so I haven't been able to eat it. But like ice cream is my first go-to. I think that's what I've eaten after every fight so far. I think.
What's your favorite ice cream, man? You getting that rainbow sherbet? You doing that? What you doing? That chocolate fudge peanut butter?
I love that sherbet, D-Mill.
I'm good with vanilla. I'm boring. Just keep it simple.
Get you a little half gallon of vanilla. Are you putting chocolate, Hershey's chocolate at the top, or are you just going straight vanilla?
He really getting hungry on the show.
No, he's getting hungry. No, you're making me hungry. But
my fault.
Chocolate. Hershey's chocolate.
You got a fight coming up. My fault.
Great.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely ice cream every time after a fight.
That's interesting, man. You know what? Like Bolo, when after a football game, I was never like immediately hungry. I was thirsty, but I couldn't just eat food right after. I don't know what it was.
For me, especially after a game, I just like to sit in my thoughts, man. Like I literally just sit and just evaluate everything that happened, every play, good, bad, indifferent, every conversation on the field. How many times I probably got cursed out for doing the wrong thing or doing the right thing. So I just literally sit there, and then my appetite really isn't there crazy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same exact way, but you did say January 30th. What is my meal? The next day.
That's the next
what
day.
I'm eating.
Ooh, okay.
But seriously, the night of, I fight at night. So when I'm done fighting and all the hype has died down, it's 11 o'clock at night. It's 12 a.m. I'm not even hungry, but I just get, some protein in and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the day after, I'm like, hey, listen, let me eat my ice cream now before I start camp again, because I've been, just going from camp to camp to camp, fight. So, that's what I do the day after.
God, and that's why I said the 30, because I figured I can't
cram all that in the night of the fight. It's too busy anyway, and plus your adrenaline's running. You're not hungry at all, actually.
Yeah, 100%. So before we go to our closing segment, because I just thought of one more question. You just said you're going from camp to camp to camp to camp. How much time do you take in between to rest? Like, there has to be some resting period. Is it just a week or something, or how long is that for you?
I trained June, July, fought August, and trained September, fought October. I mean, I take five days of doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's enough for now. And then I just go straight back to the gym.
Man, he's a warrior, man. Sheesh.
Yeah, so five days of doing nothing. But you know what? When you enjoy what you're doing, after those 5 days, you're like kind of getting stir crazy. I'm not going to sit at home doing nothing. So I would go back into the gym whether I was fighting or not after about 5 days.
Yeah.
I love
that. Definitely
that.
Get that, man, for sure.
So transitioning to the back end of the show here, obviously it's definitely an honor to get you on.
Yes.
But before we let you go, definitely would like for you to just, give a word of advice to, the people out there, especially the young men out there on their grind right now, and the people who are out there aspiring to be pro boxers.
It's a tough road for everybody. And like I said, the mental side is absolutely crucial. People say 90%, I say 95%. So whether you have to meditate or watch YouTube videos or go to seminars to get your mind right, do whatever it takes to get your mind right. Because once your mind is right, you can do whatever you want with the sport. So get your mind right, and all that physical stuff anybody can get physically in shape, but not everybody can get mentally strong. Get your mind right.
Love that, man. Great advice, man. Like, even if you're not a kid, even myself, I can use that. You know what I'm saying? The mind is a powerful thing. And if you get the mind right, a lot of times everything else in your life will start flowing the right way. So
and sometimes it's tougher to strengthen your mind than it is muscles. It's easy sometimes to just go and do curls and stuff, but to think right every single day and to dodge negative thoughts and throw all that stuff away, it's a challenge. So definitely that's the biggest thing I would say for anybody.
Amen to that. Young men, young women, listen on the porch right now. Listen, get that mind right. Get your mentals right. Yes. So now again, thank you so much for joining. Before you go, tell the people where they can find you, like social media wise, and then let them know again, remind them again when your next fight is, man.
Okay, so my Twitter is Nico Ali X 74. My Instagram is Nico Ali Walsh, and I keep everybody up to date, or I try to at least, on Instagram. I've been slacking a little bit because of camp, but I try to stay up to date as much as possible. I'm fighting January 29th, incidentally, in the same venue as my first fight, where they got that clip of people chanting Ali. So it's the same venue. So we're gonna recreate that whole night, and it's gonna be a great night. So tune in, ESPN Plus, January 29th.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it, man. We'll definitely be tuning in. Porch fans, followers, tune in. We got Nico. Bolo, close us out right now. Close us out.
You heard it here first. As I'm throwing punches, we got Nico Ali Walsh in here. It's your boy D-Nail. It's your boy B Jones, aka Bolo. Good luck to my guy Nico Ali on January 29th. And you heard what he said. It starts with your mental. Peace, blessings, and love. We the Porch. We out. Peace.
Read Porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work every day, we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated. If we link, no, it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'm